halftime. The score is 21-20. And we're up by 1 point. 1 point. We've been told we can't do it. We're the underdogs. Their fear is now. They're in the locker room right next door. The pharmaceutical companies, the people told us the chiropractic quackery, that we don't know what we're talking about. They said we couldn't do it, but it's a national championship right now. Do you have that burning heart? That burning heart. You got to get in the trenches today. With that time you're in your office, you're frustrated, you stand up. We're warriors, folks. We're warriors. We're in a locker room right now. I want you to believe in yourself. You can do it. All the people in the magazines, the radio, the TV, they said we couldn't do it. The reporters said we're the underdogs. There's no way the AlignLife can do it. The Chiropractic can't do it. I want you to roar. I want you to get excited. Because when we walk out of this locker room to be national champs, we're going to take it. We're going to rob it from them. We're going to steal it. They didn't think we were going to get it. We were going to steal it. We're going to rob it. The other team is listening to us. They're fearless. You hear them? They're like, oh my God, they're serious. We are going to come out. And we go out to this locker room, folks. You have to have that burning heart. Yeah. And we have a coach that's going to come up. Dr. Steve Franson. He is our coach. You're going to follow what he says. You're going to listen. He's got a game plan for you. You've got a game plan. The question is, are you going to follow through with that game plan? Or are you going to do your own thing? Because we need a team. Because you got the quarterback, who's the chiropractor. But you need everybody else on board, folks. If you don't have everybody, you can't do it. So I want you to now, everybody put it together, and you're going to go out, and you're listening to Dr. Steve Franson. You're going to take his game plan, and you're going to switch it, and you're going to go out and win this national championship. We're going to win. Are you ready? Yeah. Are you ready? Yeah. I want to introduce you to Dr. Steve Franson.
Yeah, can I get a round for Dr. B? Man, this is the heart. It's the easiest thing, it's the heart. You can just bring that spirit into the energy into the office every day. I know it being. Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Yeah, that's better, that's better. All right, so everybody had a great start yesterday. We were ready to have a strong finish today. Who's with me? Yeah. So, everybody have fun last night? We had an amazing time. Such great people. But, you know, at the end of the day, I want to set a ground rule, a new ground rule for our circle of friends here. The next time we're up to dinner on a night before we speak, and the waitress comes over, and she says, can I get anybody anything else? And when I raise my hand and say, yeah, can I get one more deep fried, what were they? Brussels sprouts? Just say no. Just say no. I mean, we were overserved, right? They have got to shut us off at some point. Well, unbelievable. All right, gang. So today we got a lot of heavy lifting to do. We got a lot of work to do. But what we learned yesterday is that this is some of the most important work that we're going to do together. You know, what's extraordinary when it comes to the chiropractic practice is there's so many differences from practice to practice to practice. I mean, you can go into 100 chiropractic practices and just see distinct differences. Like, it becomes really obvious. So unique how everybody has sort of a different style, whether it's a communication style or adjusting style or leadership style, etc. But what's incredible is how you can see commonalities as well, such consistency. And, you know, I've been working with chiropractors for 22 years as a practicing chiropractor, as a coach for the last 15 years. Been in a lot of chiropractic offices and I've observed the best of the best. And, I spent probably 7 years coaching with a very premise that the chiropractic business was essentially 3 domains. It was attraction, conversion, and retention, right? Say yes if you guys see that. It's attraction, conversion, retention. Attracting potential new patients into the practice. Guys, can you turn my volume down just a little bit, because I know I'm going to spike up. So it's attracting potential new patients into your practice. And then there's conversion, which is converting that potential new human being you've been trusted with into an ideal patient. And then there's retention, which is just collecting ideal patients. Attraction, conversion, retention. It sounds simple enough, doesn't it? So I created these systems that were reproducible, that chiropractors, regardless of their personalities, their style, their communication style, their leadership style, their town, their country, could reproduce these with success. And we just really spread this mission around the world. I get on the phone with chiros, coaching chiros, hallways with chiros, having coffee with chiros, drinking beers with chiros. Always had these conversations around attraction, conversion, retention, but the conversation just kept doubling back to one thing. My people. Oh man, my associate doctor. Oh man, my office manager, my CA, or a CA saying, oh my doctor, right? And I'm dragging it back to the conversation. Like, look, can we talk about the important stuff? Can we talk about attraction, conversion, retention? You just get those 3 things right, and your life is going to be great. Oh, but I'm losing a CA, or I got to fire a CA, or I need an office manager. Things are crazy. Or it's time for an associate doctor, but I can't find one. I've been through 3 of them, right? We can talk about the attraction, conversion, retention stuff later, because I've got this bleeding neck issue of the fact that I literally have no staff showing up on Monday, right? And then I learned the truth. 95% of your problems are people problems. Say amen if you understand that. It's 95% of our problems in our life, our challenges, are people problems. Man, what a blind spot for me. I was like, we're missing that 4th domain. We're missing the 4th domain of team building and creating that remarkable team. So this material now is literally our most valuable content. This training will make the biggest difference in your practice and in your life. This has become the most important thing that we teach, because at the end of the day, you can have perfect systems of attraction, conversion, retention, but if you lack the team that execute it, you're going nowhere, and the journey is going to be so frustrating. Say yes if you've been there, okay? So this, although is not the sexiest topic when you put it in copy and say you should come and learn about team building, right? Everybody wants to talk about it more in your patients, right? At the end of the day, this is incredibly important and valuable, and I promise you, if you engage with me and you hang in there with us this weekend, and you implement what we teach you, it's going to change your practice. It's going to change your life, and you will have a much greater reach in your community with a team that's with you, doing it with you. In fact, many times doing it for you. Who's ready for that? Awesome. All right. You are in the business of saving lives. So when business is good, everybody does. Hands up if you believe that. We are in the business of saving lives. The bigger your practice, the bigger your reach, the bigger your influence, you have more families under care. You have more moms under care who lead the household. They raise their children with the understanding that their bodies are awesome. They raise their children with the understanding, they run their home, their family with the understanding that healthy is normal and should be expected. That they can have a healthy family that is living, thriving, joyful, fully functional. And that's the design. When you guys win, everybody wins. Say yes if you agree with that. It's mission critical. But here's the truth. Is that what they're being told by everyone else? Like every other person that they know, like, and trust, it's not just that they're not telling them that truth. It's that they are telling them the opposite. You got to understand that. Every second that your patients, your people, close your eyes right now for me. Picture your favorite people, your favorite families. Your people. These are your people. Every second they're not in your office, they're hearing the opposite of the truth. They're being told such a pervasive lie that they've been stripped of their hope, their expectation that they are going to have a healthy family and a healthy life. They live in fear, they live in lack, they're living under control and influence every second they're away from you guys. So how critically important is it that when they are in our house, that we are meeting them with a message that empowers them with the truth, and that we equip them and we support them and we encourage them, whether that's a hug or a high five or a headlock. We have got to get them on the path and keep them on the path. Say yes if you're with me. You are in the business of saving lives. So when business is good, everybody wins. So can we have a business conversation today? Yes? Do I have permission for that?
Yes.
Every chiro that I speak to, every CA that I speak to, office manager, anybody involved in chiropractic, they agree with the statement that we're in the business of saving lives. But I'm always about 2 or 3 questions away from helping them realize that they don't own a business, they own a job. And unfortunately, in most situations, even though we love our work, the job owns us. And it's not good for our family, it's not good for our marriage, it's not good for our fitness. In fact, it very often leads to a life that's incongruent with exactly what we're teaching and telling our patients to do. Who's been there? I've been there. I've been there. I've been in a position where I have been bench pressing that practice every Monday morning, and I'd show up and be like, okay, I got this. I'm ready to do this again. And I knew that if I wanted to give more, love more, and serve more, it meant I needed to push more. And if I wanted to go bigger, I had to load on more and push more. Who's been there? Okay? To the point where all of a sudden I started to recognize that I'm not so sure I want to push more or load more. Any team members ever felt like that? Right? That bar starts to feel pretty heavy, and it's another Monday, and it's another set of squats, right? You feel like that? That's owning your job. The difference between owning a business and owning a job is businesses are scalable, they're durable, and they're transferable. Scalable. Joe Esposito. What does scalable mean? Nice and loud.
It's the ability to drive growth, sustainable growth.
By leveraging other people, technology, and communications. Joe's exactly right. Because he used the word sustainable, which I translated for him. It's sustainable because it means that you're leveraging other people, technology, and communication. Scalability. You can do more, give more, love more, serve more, make more. You can have a bigger impact, but it doesn't have to all be by a pound of your flesh and an hour of your time. Can I get an amen on that? Durable. Dr. Rickson, what does durable mean?
The ability to count on something.
Something that's going to be there, something you can count on, something that's reliable. Durability in practice implies that you've designed a business that if you didn't show up on Monday, nobody would notice. Raise your hand if that's true for you in your current practice. Look at that. That if I didn't show up on Monday, nobody would notice. You know what I mean by that, right? Doctors, have you created a business? We could all not show up on Monday and have people notice that we were. The fact of the matter is that we've got to create a durable business so that we can continue to give more, love more, serve more, add more value, capture more value, even in our absence. It can't be the Chris Arnold show. It can't be the Stephen Franson show. The Deb Cerrone show. We have to create something where, even in our absence, we continue to deliver value. And the practice, the business, grows despite your absence. Durability. And transferability. What's transferability duplicatable. Let's bring that up to scalability. When you're ready to transfer your business, what does that mean? Selling. Transferability means you've built it to sell it. Say yes if you understand that. You've built it to sell it. In other words, you've created something that's highly systematized, that I could walk in and say, this is what we do, this is how we do it, this is what we say, here are all our manuals, our processes and procedures, here's our training manual, here's our training curriculum, we have a training culture here, we have multiple doctors that the patients see, we have relationships set up where patients are on a regular schedule visit, they're mapped out, actually they've got prepayment programs in place, EFT, we have $75,000 a month from our wellness club deposited on the 5th of the month every month. We have another $75,000 from our maintenance club deposited on the 5th of the month. So 75 to 75 is how much? $150,000 gets deposited in our account on the 5th of the month every month. Every month before you start one new patient, right? Does that sound like a business you might want to buy? Okay? Tell me where to sign. What would you do with that business? Oh yeah, we've been in business for 20 years. We've had 39 doctors in the practice. The patients are very used to seeing other doctors because we've created a culture where they're there for the adjustment, not the adjustor. They're there for the chiropractic, not the chiropractor. They actually have gone from being skeptics to believers, from believers to understanders, and they actually want chiropractic care. And what they trust is that we have excellent doctors there that are going to deliver excellent care. And if our patients ever discontinue care here, it's because they're going to a different chiropractor that's more convenient for them. They're moving, okay? Or we're going to close the office, and now they're going to be looking for another great chiropractor. We're going to refer them to another chiropractor. They're not going to stop getting adjusted. They're just going to go find their adjustment. Say yes if you see the difference there, okay? We have a group of people here who are in rhythm, and they're scheduled. And what do you do at Monday at 3:15? Well, I get adjusted. What do you do? Right? They're in the schedule book. For how many visits? Infinity. Like, that's the magic of a computer. Okay, so Tom, you're every other Thursday at 4:15? Forever. Until you tell us you're not. Boop. How awesome are computers now? Joe, do you remember when we used to have to write them out in pencil? I posted pictures the other day of our schedule book when we were seeing 900 a week and handwriting it in pencil and mapping out 1,000 patients in pencil. Hey, I'd like to change my Thursday appointments to Monday mornings at 8:15. What? That was the face I would check out here. Are you sure, Tim? Because I can do that for you. I'm really happy to do that for you right now. But you're sure about this, right? Because if you change this again, I'm going to kill you. There was a different resistance at that point to people moving their schedules around. Who can see transferability, the ability for somebody to walk in, look around, and be like, I can see this as a business. I can buy this. I can take this over, and I can grow it. In fact, it can be a franchise. Who sees it? Does this sound familiar? Scalable, durable, transferable. Do you own a job or do you own a business? Who's ready to own a business? Here's the truth. You might be thinking to yourself, I'm going to practice until they wheel me out. That's awesome, but it's also short-sighted. What about your family? How many people thought that they were going to drop dead in their practice and be like, you know, when you were 10 years of practice, like, man, I'm going to do this until I'm 99, right? And this is like, I used to tell that story all the time with my patients, right? There's different chapters of life. God had a bigger vision that he put seated in my heart. It was like, okay, we're ready for you. Can you get outside of these four walls and go and help other chiropractors create remarkable practices themselves? That was just a new message for me. And at 20 years, I decided I was going to step out of my practice. But I had created a business that I could sell. You'll never regret owning a business that you've created to sell, because you can have the pleasure and the joy of running and operating inside of that business for a 50-year career if you chose to. Who can see it? Very good. Scalable, durable, transferable. So I've studied success, business success, totally fascinated by it. And I wanted to know what's the key to creating successful businesses. And in studying the chiropractic space, it became super, super clear to me that business is a puzzle and practice is a puzzle. But it's not just a jigsaw puzzle. It's not just a flat, one-dimensional picture, right? Where you've got 400 pieces that you try to line up. It's a cube. It's a Rubik's Cube. There's multiple facets of that puzzle, and every side of the puzzle has to be solved for the puzzle to be solved. Say yes if you see that. The same is true for your practice. This is the perfect metaphor, because if I screw up even one side of the puzzle, what happens to the rest of the puzzle? Completely jacks up the whole puzzle, isn't that true? Well, in every business, in your business, in the chiropractic practice, in every other business, there are 6 sides to the puzzle that you have to solve. And there's an order to how you solve them. I'll make the argument that there's an order in which you should address them in priority. The first is vision. What does success look like to you? The second is leadership. Who do you need to become? Who do you need to be? What attributes do you need to work on, like muscles? What do you need to develop in order to predictably attract and lead that organization? And then there's systems. Reproducible systems that you can consistently execute time in and time again, so you can create leverage so that you can scale and deliver consistent, excellent outcomes. Then there's people. It's getting the right people on your bus, as you've heard over and over this weekend, but it's a perfect metaphor. It's getting the right people on your bus and getting the right butts in the right seats on the bus and giving them that direction to drive the bus. Then there's training, which is investing in developing your people. Get the right people on your bus, the systems in the bus, and train everybody on the bus and on the systems. And then after that, everything else is energy. Energy is everything. Everybody say that with me. Energy is everything. We all know this truth. When your energy's up, your practice is up. When your energy's flat, your practice is flat. When your energy's down, your practice is down. True or true? Everybody knows that. No one can explain it, but no one will deny it. Your energy's up, your practice is up. Your team's energy's up, your practice is up. Your patients, your tribe's energy's up, your practice is up, isn't it? It's so true. This is a living organism. When your energy's flat, your practice is flat. When your energy's down, your practice is down. It's church. Doctors, you're the CEO of your company. You're the CEO of this business. You are the chief energy officer of this business. Our responsibility is to walk in the environment, check the temperature, feel the energy, elevate the energy to the appropriate level. Make sure that that energy is set right. Say yes if you accept that responsibility. Energy is everything. And if you know that to be true, teams, doctors, if you know that to be true, that when your energy is up, and I mean a genuine, authentic, not fake it till you make it type stuff, I'm talking about when you get to on purpose and you recognize what you guys are really contributing to your community, when you really start putting faces and names to the stats, when you start getting into those success stories and testimonials, and you start seeing the reality of the value that you deliver to your community, when you start seeing a family, a household change, they change their behaviors, they change the way they think about raising their children, they change the choices that they make every day, and therefore their outcomes change. When you own that, your energy goes up, doesn't it? And when your energy goes up, your practice goes up. So we should want to study energy. And we're going to do some of that today. So vision. Kevin Day. What does success look like for you? And I want you to talk to me about your team. Come on up here, actually. How many people would like to hear from Kevin Day, his vision? Can I get a mic on this man? Handheld mic. So, Kevin, this is a team building conference. So I want you to talk to me about your vision for success regarding the creation of your ideal team, of your own remarkable team. Like, there's no limitations here. Like, take all that bullshit and drop it right now, okay? Because I'm a genie that just popped out of the bottle, okay? And what I want you to tell me is, if I could make your wish come true so that you can serve the purpose that God seeded in your heart, what do you need for a team around you? And talk me into it.
I'll detail.
And be careful.
I'll detail.
So, I got 9 a.m. Anybody else is pretty early.
Okay.
Yeah, give me 3 minutes, go.
Okay. So from right from the very beginning,
Everybody close your eyes. I want you to see what Kevin Day sees.
and this is my vision where we're headed. And I have to say that we're very close to that. And starting off with Monday morning huddle is something that we've got to be just a little bit better on. We do always meet right before patients come in, but I know that we can focus our energy just a little bit better on that. And having our systems and procedures dialed in to where training is fun, and our meetings are very productive now, but the meetings will be more so towards how are we going to reach the next community? How are we going to get to Fort Wayne? What's the next area of Fort Wayne that we're really going to focus on? I want to see 500 visits in there a week smoothly, and I'm sorry to tail off.
Close your eyes. I want you to see what I see. We have a team, stay there. We have a team that shows up energized and fired up and on purpose. They are in their positions. They are trained up and they are ready to rock and roll, because we have 900 people on the book this week, and we have never seen 900 before, and we are on our way to our 2,000 a week practice. My 4 associate doctors are locked and loaded. We have been training so hard. We cannot believe that today is the day we break 900. The energy is palpable. My check-in CA is ready to rock, and she is leading a huddle that has the team on point, sharp, prepared, and equipped to deliver extraordinary value today. Go.
That's pretty much it right there. That's the feeling that I want.
Tell them. Close your eyes. I want you to see what I see. And I want to hear your heart. So I want you to take it up 5 notches. Talk them into it. Because they're going to quit their jobs and they're going to come and work for you.
Okay.
There are doctors in this room who would quit their job right now and come and work for you already. Make me want to quit my job and come and work for you. Tell them.
So that 900 people on the schedule, that is,
You don't need a minute. You've been preparing this for 15 years. Talk them into it.
that's how I see it.
I don't know. What's in that head of yours? This is a movie that you want me to pay for. I'm going to give you $25 million to produce this movie. This is the movie called Your Success Story of Impact in Your Community. And you're the star of this movie. You're the hero in this success story. So talk me into it. I got my checkbook right here.
My vision is to have two associated docs in our Warsaw location, and to have 4 other docs in Fort Wayne and 2 in South Bend. And they come to our office weekly for training, and it's all about how we can continue to grow. We're sharing our success stories of how we're touching our community. We're sharing our success stories at marketing events, and the energy is through the roof, just because you know that you're saving lives. And you know that, again, just as Dr. Steve was saying, we're in the business of saving lives, so when we're busy, everyone wins. That's what I see right now.
Awesome. Tom, stand up. Canty, hand him the mic. Pick it up where he left off. Go.
All right. I visualize.
Everybody give Kevin a round of applause, by the way. Tom, 10 in my hand, dude. 25 million is a lot of money. Let's go. Freaking go.
I'll take it.
Shark Tank, dude. You got 30 seconds before I shut you off. Go.
Coming into the office, and the office is really clean. My staff is there now early, getting everything prepared. As soon as I walk in, they're on fire. I can feel their energy. My energy's up usually all the time when I get in the office. I sit at my desk, I get prepared. My staff comes in, the travel car's pulled. One staff has their motivational tick, and they just immediately go ahead and start saying it because it's like clockwork. We've done this so many times, and we go over every single patient that's coming in to make sure we serve them to the best capacity.
Everybody give him a round of applause. Stand up. Check out where we left off. 25 million of my favorite dollars in my pocket.
It's prime time. We're in the clinic. There's multiple doctors taking care of dozens of patients at this time. Exam rooms are full. We have new patients waiting up front. Credit card terminal buzzing with sales. Patients are in there, they're happy, they're enjoying their experience with chiropractic. There's kids, there's families, and the practice is growing.
Goosebumps. Goosebumps. Deb's around. Get up there. Let's go. Round of applause for Tim. Anybody else get goosebumps? Deb, $25 million. All I'm asking is that I start crying. And then I'm going to cut the check. Cut the check.
All right, so the office is buzzing, and I see my team on fire. They're getting patients to refer. They're getting our patients coming in and doing testimonial videos for us. There's OB/GYNs that are seeing our testimonial videos online because their patients are telling them about us, and they're referring their pregnant patients to us. We've got our hands on brand new babies who are with us for a lifetime. They're staying healthy, they're not getting vaccinated, and they grow up and they're bringing their kids in to see us.
Boom. Boom. Dr. Joe. Talk to me about your vision.
All right, I just got off the AlignLife jet from Europe. The European Union just accepted AlignLife in all hospitals across Europe. And it was in the paper, I just saw the Wall Street Journal cover. Infertility has been proven to be corrected through chiropractic care. The research just came out, 35,000 women proven by Health Missions research study, proven that chiropractic can literally help infertility. Thousands of women are in the streets. They're revolting in front of hospitals. We're noticing the hospital system has shut down. There's no longer 3 hospitals per town. There are 9 hospitals in the nation, and they're for emergency care. There's no medicine. The AMA has just disbanded. They're searching for ways of what to do. The medical industry is coming clean. People are getting arrested. There are people going to jail. The lies are exposed. Vaccines have stopped. There's no more over-the-counter drugs. People are taking nutrients. Chiropractors are leading their profession. And we're standing up here. We walk into the convention with the Wall Street Journal, and we drop it on the stage. And there's 15,000 chiropractors unified, hugging, holding hands. And their patients are in the streets at the convention to celebrate what you guys have done in your lifetime to this society. The lies are over. Everything for the dental industry, amalgams, it was a lie. Vaccines was a lie. All of these lies were, in your lifetime, were exposed and shut down. And chiropractic is now leading healthcare.
Who's with us? Who's with us? Did you see it? I saw it. Did you see it? Did you taste it? Could you feel it? Who got goosebumps on that? Do you know that we are inside of our lifetime? Inside of our lifetime. But you know what it takes? It takes teams. Who thinks we could do that on our own? Doctors, do you think you could do that on your own? It takes teams. Everybody will be. And here's the key, guys. You've got to see that vision for you, and you're part of it. You're a piece of it. Your territory. You need to stick a freaking flag in the ground in your town and say, for my town, these are my people. These are my patients. All of you my time. You're my patients. Do you know Camilla and I did this when we signed our lease? We put a flag in the ground, and I said, you're all my patients. Some of you just aren't active yet. Say amen if you're with me. These are my people. And anything that's taught to these, told to these, done to these people, I take personally. When you step into that space in your community, that's when all of the resistance and the bullshit just falls away. Those are your people. That is your community. Those are your children. Your patients will pick up on that. Your team needs you to lead them with that clarity. Your patients want to hear that clarity, your story and your role in creating that reality. That's what they need to understand. That's what they need to see. And that's the story that they will carry out into the community and share with others. Who's with me? That's our first one. What's your purpose? Why must that exist? What's at risk if you fail? What's at risk? You heard what Deb had to say. What's at risk if what she said doesn't manifest? What's your purpose? What's your mission? How are you going to manifest that? What are you willing to do? Do you understand that this takes massive action? Everybody get that? So that's table stakes. If you don't have the chops for massive action, you're in the wrong business. This takes massive action. What are the verbs you use? How are you going to serve your purpose and manifest your vision? How are you going to take action? And then what do you believe? What is at the core of your belief system? I've shared with you guys before, but as I promised you yesterday, where do I start? I'm the systems guy. That's my moniker, right? I love to get tactical and practical. You guys know that. But where do we start? We start with the heart. We start with the why. Why does all of this matter? Well, I believe that everyone who wants to be truly healthy, for every family that wants to be truly healthy, they should get their spine and nervous system checked by a chiropractor regularly. Who's with me? Say yes if you agree with me on that. I believe that the natural state of the human body, the default of the human body, by design, is to express health. By design, the default of the body, the natural state of the human being is to be healthy. And if you're not experiencing health, in other words, you're sick, or you're struggling, or you have a condition, or you have a symptom, or some body signal, if you are struggling, that just simply means that there's something that's interfering with the natural expression of your health. And we know that the only thing that causes interference is what? Toxicity or deficiency, or both. So what do we do for those people? We assess their lives, and we look for where's the toxicity, what's in there that's not supposed to be there, or the deficiency, what needs to be there that's missing. And we reconcile those things. We give them mechanisms to reconcile those things, and the body does what it does best. What? Heal. And it gets back to health, and it flourishes. It's the natural state. As long as you remove the interference, the body does what it does best. It's programmed to express health. Well, I'll make the argument that the same can be said of the principled chiropractic office. The natural state of a principled chiropractic practice is growth. The natural state of your practice is growth. And if you're not growing, and I mean readily, I don't mean easily, I mean readily. If you're not growing, it just simply means that there's something that's interfering with the natural state of growth of your practice. And once again, we all know what causes interference. It's two things. What are they? Toxicity or deficiency or both? Toxicity, there's something in there that's not supposed to be there. Something that's naturally toxic to your practice. It's in there and it's not supposed to be there. You've got to reconcile it. Or there's deficiency. There's essential nutrients. There's things that absolutely are required for optimal function. And if it's missing, you will not see that expression. Say yes if you guys are with me. You got to reconcile those things. And I believe that as chiropractic teams, we're at our best. We do our best work. We add our greatest value in our community when we see as many families, as many people, as many patients at the highest level of quality of care for the longest time possible. Say yes if you believe that.
Yeah.
I believe in and I understand the compound effect of chiropractic. There's a compound effect to this. Here's what I know. The longer you're sick, the sicker you get. Say yes if you see that. The longer a human being is sick, the sicker they get. The longer you're healthy, the healthier you get. The converse is true. There's a cumulative effect of the chiropractic adjustment. These adjustments add to one another and build momentum, and we move our bodies towards health and wellness. Everybody understands the concept of compounding wealth. You understand the compounding interest or compounding debt with money, compounding wealth. The wealthy get wealthier over time because of compounding interest. Everybody understands that? The same can be true of health. There's a compound effect, this compounding effect of your care. The longer somebody stays subluxation free, the more resilient their nervous system, the healthier their body, the tissues that they're building, the organ systems coordination, the more resilient they are and resistant they are to stress, the more likely they are to adapt regularly and appropriately to stressors and thrive. We do our best work over time, don't we? Say yes if you believe that. Here's the core belief. That lamp is blocking my core belief. Have that removed. Okay, here's my beautiful family. That's my awesome wife, Dr. Camilla Franson, who I met 26 years ago at Life University at the first quarter party. First date. I'm no fool. This is the Lucky Sperm Club. That's my son Samuel. That's my daughter Emma. That's the Franson clan. That's what I call them. They'll refer to themselves as that now. It's common. Your children are the Lucky Sperm Club, aren't they? Aren't they? What a blessing, right? For them to be in that home, right? With you. What a blessing that is. And they know it. They understand it. Isn't there something about chiropractic kids? Isn't there something about the chiropractic family that they see as children? See these children who's raised her kids inside the practice. And isn't there a sparkle in those kids? Like you see that clear skin, those white eyes, those beautiful smiles. Just a joy, just a tone, their energy, right? Do you see that? You see that? Children who are raised like that. Versus you see, have you ever worked with just vaccinated, damaged children who are toxic and deficient? Because you know that's what we have now, right? We have a generation of toxic, deficient, vaccinated, and subluxated children. You get that, right? Like you get the weight of that. You have to, because you got to own this premise. The premise in our practice is that the families that are in our practice are healthier and safer than the families that are not in our practice, period. The families that are in our practice, they're healthier and they're safer than the families that are not in our practice, period. That drives everything. Drives all behavior. All marketing, all messaging, all visuals, table talk, process, procedures, policies, payment plans, everything is a reflection of that premise. It's our core belief. It's our deepest core belief. What's your premise? What's the premise of your practice? What's the premise of your office? What's the granite that you stand on every day? See, when your team owns something like that, see how that answers so many questions? And so much resistance and objection and doubt falls away. That creates clarity. And clarity is the greatest accelerant. It answers the question, what should we do? Well, I don't know. What do you think we should do? Because what I know is that the families that are in our practice are healthier and safer than the families that are not. So what do you think? Should we do that screening? Should I do that corporate talk? Should I do that dinner talk? Should we run a body skills program? Should we have an advanced workshop? Should we make it mandatory that people attend the workshop so they have a chance to hear the truth? Should we put people on a schedule so we can deliver the work that we're promising? The outcomes that we know are possible for them? Should we tell them the truth? Should we tell them what we know they need versus what we think they'll go for? you think? What's your premise? When you own your premise, it answers all those friggin' questions that keep you up at night. You want to de-pussificate your practice and your leadership? That's a new word right there. Own your premise. Don't take mine. I mean dig down and pull it out of you. What's your premise? Leadership. What are the qualities that you're going to need to develop to be able to predictably lead, attract and lead your tribe? I'm not just talking about doctorship, guys. I'm talking about teams. What are the qualities? What levels of certainty do you need to work on like muscles? What levels of conviction around your recommendations for care, the direction you give your people who have hired you as an expert, and to tell me how to get the better health outcomes that I'm going to pay you for? Tell me what to do. What levels of clarity do you need to develop so that somebody can actually take action with confidence? Certainty, conviction, clarity. Who do you need to become? What are your core values? Core values are unchanging. Core values are the things that make up your deepest belief systems, the things that you value the most, the things that you are willing to invest all of your limited resources around. How do you choose to spend the limited resources of your time, energy, focus, and money? What's really important to you? B, what's really, really important to you? I can tell because all I have to do is say, how do you spend your time? How do you spend your energy? How do you spend your focus? And how do you spend your money? What is really important to you? What are your core values? I want everybody to take a minute to think about your core values right now. Because your core values are a lens through which you should make your decisions. You should scrutinize all behavior through your lens of core values. Where there's alignment between your core values and your behavior, there's peace. There's prosperity. God calls us to be market makers. He calls us to be territory takers. And he calls us to be covenant keepers. And inside of you, you have, there is seeded core values, things that you know are really, really the most important things to you. And are your behaviors aligned with those core values? When you go to make a decision, there's a lens through which you make that decision. Can I share with you my core values just for illustration? And I'm not projecting my core values on you or telling you these are right or that these are the ones you should have. We're all very, very, very different people, okay? But I just want to share them for illustration, okay? The first four, which I call the core four, are sort of the beauty pageant answers that everybody says, okay? So can we just recognize that? As true as they are. It's faith, family, fun, and health. Those are my core four, and they go across the top. And then underneath those, my core values are freedom, peace of mind, abundance, significance, and contribution. Freedom, peace of mind, abundance, significance, and contribution. In that order. So when I look at my core values, freedom and peace of mind come over abundance. So how do I use these core values when I'm making decisions? Let's say about team building. I'll tell you right now, I prefer freedom and peace of mind right at the top of my list, and I know that if anything threatens my freedom or my peace of mind, and when I say my, Camilla and I are one. We are one flesh. My wife and I are fully aligned in our vision and in our core values. So we have landed on these as our core values for our whole family, and we project them into our children. We absolutely speak them to our children. They're going to arrive at their own core values, but we absolutely are leading them in their core values. Say yes if you get that. Okay? We do it through our words and through our actions. We show them what our core core values are. How we choose to invest our time, energy, focus, and money is what's really telling you. Because your kids, they might listen to 10% of what you say, but they watch 100% of what you do. Say yes and you get it. So when it comes to team building, freedom, peace of mind, abundance. Let's just take those top three. Freedom. I like to take 8 weeks of vacation a year. That's freedom, right? So I gotta make sure, I'm gonna reference practice. Okay, we sold our practice this year. So I can commit myself full time to a remarkable practice and to AlignLife. So our practice was always set up with multiple associate doctors. I had 3 associate doctors. Okay? So Camille and I were both chiropractors. We have 3 associate doctors because it was in line with my purpose, which was to serve God by helping others express their potential as they heal, grow, and learn with me. Right? So that was in line with my having an associate doctor program that was very academic, was in line with my purpose, but it was also in line with my core values and in line with my vision. So it was all aligned. 3 doctors. Why? Because if one quit, moved away, got married and had to move down south, got pregnant and had to, there was somebody right behind them ready to move in. Tim and I had this conversation last night. I called it the shark's tooth. Shark's tooth gets knocked out, the next one moves right in. How cool is that? Shark is the ultimate eating machine, isn't it? Right? Think that's pretty awesome? A tooth gets knocked out, one moves right in. Okay? You don't miss a beat. If you had an associate doctor in your practice and you're seeing 500 a week, and the associate doctor's seeing 250 and you're seeing 250, or they're seeing 200 and you're seeing 300, or they're seeing 300 and you're seeing 200, and that shark's tooth gets knocked out, what's the word that comes to mind? Holy shit! It's just a dash between those 2 words, right? Right? Okay? So that to me, that's not freedom or what? Peace of mind. I also had that conversation with Dr. Joe early on. He and I had a conversation where it's like Fight Club. We would just battle things out because Joe knows what he knows, I know what I know, and neither one of us care about being right. We want to do the right thing, right, Joe? That's all we care about. And we drive Cristina crazy. We had this argument between running a lean machine and running a team that was a little bigger than it needed to be. For 2 reasons. You want to create a vacuum of growth in front of you, and you also want to have stability in your team. So that if somebody does quit, or you have to let them go and free them to do something else, or they get pregnant, or get married and move away, right? If you lose a key player, what does that do to your practice? What does that do to your momentum? You know it's a healthier environment when everybody in the team knows at any point in time, I'm not indispensable. I'm incredibly valued, but you know what? This place could operate without me. It's an unhealthy environment, and everybody knows it when you're like, there's no way she could get rid of me. Right? Is that a terrible dynamic? For everybody, right? So I always had a team that was a little larger than it needed to be, for those 2 reasons. Because freedom and peace of mind were my priorities, even over abundance. So I'll use my money to invest and buy freedom and peace of mind. Say yes and see that. Okay? So that's how I make decisions based on core values. What are your core values? Here's an exercise I want you guys to do. These are what I call the ABCs. These are just examples, okay? Just to stimulate you guys. That's some take-home homework for you. I want you to work on your core values, okay? So now you have 2 homework assignments for me. I want your vision story, and I want your core values. Those are the twin engines of success. Clarity around those 2 things, the twin engines of success. Clarity is the greatest accelerant. Clarity around your vision story, talk me into it, and core values. So make sure that there's alignment between your core values, what's truly important to you, and what you're intending to create for better tomorrow. There better be alignment there. Okay? Any misalignment is a subluxation. Any incongruency. Do I have a commitment to this? Let me get a yes from everybody. Yes? Okay, team members, CAs, your doctor is going to bring this to you at a team meeting on Monday. Have a nice flight. Systems. Systems for attraction, conversion, retention, and teamwork. If it's not written down, it doesn't. If it's not written down, it doesn't exist. You have to have these in process and procedure manuals. This is done for you. In the AlignLife family, there are many benefits in this organization. one of the unsung heroes of the organization is Dr. Cristina. And the work that she's put in and she does tirelessly, as I said yesterday, but I gotta say it in front of the CAs, you guys have no idea. If you had a glimpse at the hours that vampire spends back there, you think she sleeps? She has a laptop because she hangs upside down in the closet all night long. I know, because I'm like sending her something at 11 o'clock at night, and I get an email at 5 in the morning, like, okay, it's all done. I'm like, what? Just like a time capsule or something. It's a superpower. It's really strange. You free space and time to get this stuff done. She's awesome. Can we get a round of applause for her? People. Get the right butts on your bus. Getting the right butts in the right seats on the bus. One thing we're going to talk about today is, what are the seats on your bus? Everybody knows that expression. Oh, I get it, T-billing. It's getting the right butts on the bus, and then getting the right butts in the right seats on the bus, right? Yeah, got it, yeah. I'm like, okay, tell me about the seats on your bus. I'm like, well, they're leather. Well, it's kind of pleather, like a vinyl green. There's no seat belts on a school bus. I mean, is it just me? Nobody knows that. It's like, no seat belts on a school bus. It's perfectly safe. If our kids like helmets, wrapped in bubble wrap, they go through life, right? And all of a sudden we just like send them off to school. It's like, all right, have fun with that giant yellow tin can. Don't worry about there's no seatbelts, all right? Those vinyl seats, and that bus takes a turn. You guys are all whipping against the wall. No problem. You'll all be in a big pile. Get your spines checked. All right. People. We're going to talk about what are the seats on that bus and what are the attributes of the person that's going to thrive in that position. Can I give you a premise? God only makes geniuses. Amen? God only makes geniuses. And when you have that as an operating premise, and you recognize that as a CEO, as the owner of your business, it's your responsibility to look for the genius in every person on your team and make sure that you have them in the right position. Make sure that you have put them in charge of responsibilities that they're naturally hardwired to excel at. You're naturally awesome at this. You're naturally awesome at because it totally energizes you. Okay? These things here, these is sucking the life out of this sucks the bone marrow out of your femur. This job right here, that thing, let's get that out of your life. Even though you're awesome at it, and your outcomes are great, and you've worked hard at it, and you've got some kind of like crazy psychic ownership over there, well, I'm gonna have to claw it out of your hands, right? We're gonna get that away from you, because what it does is it's just draining your power, okay? And what we're gonna do is we're gonna delegate that over here to this weirdo, because she actually loves to do that part that's killing you slowly, okay? All right, and together, you guys are both gonna be in a place where you're doing the stuff that God made you awesome at, like naturally. I'm like, no, I'm just awesome at this, I just get it, I totally see it, and I love doing it. I love Excel spreadsheets. This is crazy. It is crazy, okay? Every role has a specific calling, doesn't it? There's responsibilities that people are hardwired to be really good at. And God only makes geniuses. And there's a genius for every single role on your team. And you gotta find that person. And your responsibility as a leader, you're trusted with these human beings. You gotta put them in a place where they can thrive. Okay? 3 different jobs, 3 different types of people. Attraction, conversion, retention. Attraction, conversion, retention. How am I doing on time?
9:30.
Thank you. How much time do I have left? Half an hour? Thank you. It's 9:30. It is 9:30. All right. Attraction, conversion, and retention. Attraction, conversion, retention. 3 different types of jobs. 3 different types of people. Picture a real corporation, like a real company. They have different departments, not just people, right? They have different departments. Do you want to be a real company? Everybody say yes to that, please. Don't you? I mean, it doesn't matter how big you are, right? So don't you want to be a real business? right? A real business, you walk into any real business, is there an attraction department? In a real, what is it called? Marketing, right? Are there marketing experts? Right? This is like, there are colleges dedicated to this, right? This is a massive profession, this marketing. And then there's conversion. What's conversion? Sales. You ever hear anybody who's in sales? What do? They sell. Right? They convert. That's what they do. They take a potential buyer who has a problem that they know that their product or service solves, and they help them see the value in that, and they sell the product. That's what they do, right? They create value, and then they sell the value. That's what they do. They solve the problem. And then there's retention. What's retention? Service. It's delivering the product. It's delivering the value. It's delivering the care. It's delivering the education. It's taking great care of people at the front desk. It's customer service. It's the service part of what you do. So can you see where these are different people? Say yes or with me. Okay? Let's break it down. I like to break it down into 5 categories. Now, I know that this is going to send some of you into a conniption, right? Because people are like, we're a one-man band. I'm like, well, it's great that you have a small team and, once, you're like, no. I'm a one-man band. I don't even have any team, right? And then some of you that are like, I have a complete cat service. There's 14 employees, and I the other day I looked to one person and I didn't know their name. Right? I mean, it's just there's a whole spectrum, right? Some of you are like, I've got one CA, and I'm like, I know that is a super busy person. Say amen. There's a super busy person that's flying around, right? Some of you have 2 CAs, some of you have a team of 3, 4, right? So can I just get everybody just to relax for a second and let me tell you that I know that. I know that many of you have a team of 1 or a team of 2 or a team of 3, right? I'm not telling you that you have to have a team of 7 people, okay? I'm not telling you that. What I want you to appreciate is that these roles exist in your practice for you to be able to deliver the service, okay? These functions have to exist. It's just that some people have to play 2 and 3 roles. Say yes if you got that. Like if we were going to play basketball, right? If we showed up to play basketball, there is a center, there is a power forward, there is a shooting forward, there is a point guard, and there is a shooting guard. Those are 5 positions in basketball, okay? Now, if we showed up and there's only 3 guys who are playing pickup basketball, 3 on 3, okay? Guess what? You're playing point guard and shooting guard. Okay? You're playing center, and you're playing power forward and shooting forward. Everybody see it? You just have to play both roles. You see that each one of those roles has a set of responsibilities. If this, then that. If this happens in the game, then in your position, you do that. Everybody get it without me unpacking that further? Like every single role has a set of responsibilities. These functions have to happen in your practice. And what you want to be thinking about in your practice is, okay, I get the fact that all of these functions have to happen for us to deliver the value in our practice, for us to execute this thing called the chiropractic practice, right? Everybody get it? We're going to organize all of those responsibilities under positions, and we're going to name them and organize them so we understand that we can have an individual in each one of those seats on the bus, and they'd be responsible for those tasks and jobs. Say yes if you're tracking.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. Front desk, back office, floor, sales, and associates. Those are the 5 categories that we talk about. Let's take a look at the front desk. Before we go there, let's go here. I'm going to break down each one of the roles. This is an organizational chart. Okay? In an organizational chart like this, that should scare the crap out of you looking at that right now. Holy crap, right? All right? I know that that's what some of you are thinking. But this organizational chart is critical for you to see in your mind's eye because it represents the functions in your practice. These are the things that happen in the operation called the chiropractic practice. Okay? Every one of these things is happening in the chiropractic practice. That's fully operational, for the most part. There's some things over here that might be different, okay? So here's the owner and the CEO, okay? Notice that there's a blank underneath here. This is the role, this is the person that's playing that role. Then there's the clinic director, that's the role, this is the person that's playing that role. This is the office manager. This is the name of the person that's currently playing that position. If we were looking at a football team, they have an org chart on the back wall in the locker room, right? You guys see it? You know, you get the owner, you get the coach, you get the general manager, you get the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, and then you have the team up there. And the team, it's like quarterback, Tom Brady, okay? Kicker, Steve Gostkowski, right? So fullback, cornerback, right? So every single position has a name written on the dry erase board underneath the position. Say yes, we understand that, okay? And that name might get erased and somebody else's name put in. They're playing that position. So that's how I want you to think about the organizational chart for your practice. Team captain, back office CA, marketing director. So let me say something about this right here. Probably one of the greatest benefits of being in AlignLife and being in this organization is this incredibly complex and difficult and really expensive part of your business is largely done for you or done with you. Now there's a part of that that's done by you, isn't there? But let me tell you what, when it comes to marketing, there's a 4-step process. Planning, preparing, promoting, and executing. That's marketing. Planning, like, what are we gonna do? We gotta put together a plan. How are we gonna get lots of new patient leads, right? We gotta have some internal campaigns going on. We have an internal marketing calendar. We have to have digital campaigns going on. We have to have external marketing going on. Like, what are we gonna do for external marketing? We're outside talks, we're gonna do dinner talks, we're gonna do spinal screenings, corporate wellness, we're gonna do for networking. Like, you have to have a plan in place. Like, exactly what are we doing for internal campaigns? What's the calendar look like? Right? And then digital. Okay, so we gotta have our website, we gotta have our SEO cranking, we gotta make sure that we got Google, we got AdWords going, we've gotta get our reviews in Google and Facebook, we gotta get our Facebook page up, we gotta make sure we got our fan page, now we gotta make sure we have a private group going, we gotta have social media postings, right? We gotta get our blog going, of course, right, so we can share and cross-reference. I mean, it gets a little overwhelming, doesn't it? To have AlignLife doing so much of this for you, you're taking the planning out and so much of the preparation out. Say yes if you see that. So 50% of that work being done for you, now your job is to actually promote, okay, and execute. The planning and preparation, that's what slows everything down. That's where all the expense is. That's where all the energy, focus, and time is. Now it's just, okay, here's the plan, here's the calendar, here's the assets. Now go and talk about it. Be excited about it. Your practice is a reflection of your energy. Put some energy into this. Your marketing results will be a reflection of your energy. You put the energy behind it. You promote it and you execute it. 50% done with you, done for you. 50% done with you, done by you. Everybody see it? So here's your organizational chart. We're going to work on this afternoon with me. We're going to do it together. We're going to put those names in those boxes. You're going to start thinking about who's in these roles, what butts are in what seats, and we're going to see how many names end up in the same. You know, how many seats is your butt in? Is that the way to say it? Right? We're going to walk through all that together. We'll talk about this down here. So the separate and distinct roles. So here's the AlignLife org chart. Owner, CEO. Clinic director, we've got senior DC, junior DC, exam DC. This is just what's potential for you. Kevin Dave painted a beautiful picture for us. He's a senior DC, he's got a junior chiropractor and associate doctor, he's got an exam DC, he's got interns in there, he's got a tech CA working the floor with him, a new patient concierge. He's got potentially a trainer in his office doing his rehabilitation exercises and his functional fitness class, maybe massage therapist, you know, what have you. All those things go right underneath you, right? And then you've got the office manager. They run the front desk, the back office, and they communicate with the marketing team, okay? So your office manager, here's your team captain at the front desk, the head CA, who's running that front desk, check-in CA, check-out CA, swing CA, which is somebody who goes back and forth. And then there's a back office CA. What are they doing? Their accounts, payroll, and then bills and marketing, and then the marketing director, internal, digital, external. Everybody see it? Can everybody see it? What I want you guys to do is you're going to start thinking about which butts are in which seats. We're going to work on our scorecard later on this afternoon. In the scorecard, one thing we're going to identify are what are the 3 primary roles, what are the 3 bullets for each one of those positions. Okay? That's going to be what we're going to come back and do next. We're going to fill this thing out. Because if it's not written down, it doesn't exist. The difference between hopes and plans are written down. Plans are written down. If you don't write it down, doctors, owners, CEOs, how dare you expect it to be manifest? If you're a gambler, you have horrible odds there. Horrible odds. Amen? Write it down. Clarity is the greatest. Clarity is the greatest accelerant. Write it down. This is where we're going to have clarity for everybody on your team. Every single person on your team is going to have the scorecard laid out for them with their primary objectives of their role, which came right off of here. Okay? Primary objectives of their role, so that they're going to know exactly why they're on the team. This is where I hire you. These are your primary objectives. These are your primary responsibilities. This is why you're on the team. This is what I pay you to do. And then you're going to, every quarter, you're going to give them something to focus on. These are your KPIs, or your key performance indicators in your role. These are where these numbers here represent where we are right now currently. This is our goal. This is where we're going this quarter. And this is the activity. This is the task. This is the function that I want you to focus on. Because that, if you focus on that, and you are excellent at that, it's going to move the dial on that key performance indicator, that number. These 5 things, you own. It's your baby. You're accountable to those things. And then we're going to meet, and we're going to talk about this every month and at our quarterly review. Month 1, month 2, month 3. And we're going to say, are we ahead of time? Are we ahead? Are we on track? Or are we behind? We're not going to let 90 days go by. We're going to come alongside you. How's it going? Let's talk about those 5 numbers. We need help. We need support. Any lack of clarity. What can I do to help those? No, here's the feedback though. Okay? Every month, month 1, month 2, month 3, quarterly review, and we outline a new scorecard. Clarity is the greatest accelerant. This is what excellence looks like. These 5 things. Is there a lot going on, CAs, or is there a lot going on? A lot of part movement, isn't it? You're responsible for a lot. It's like in Star Wars when they hit warp speed and all the stars go right by, right? That's front desk CA, right? And what we want to do is we want to say, yeah, I get it, but those 5 planets right there, those are yours. I know this star's fun. I know there's a lot of power movement, but those 5 lights right there, those are the things that I want you to focus on. Clarity is key. Front desk, here's your front line. Check in CA, check out CA. You might have 1 CA at the front desk, your office coordinator. They're playing 2 roles. They're check in and they're check out. CA say yes. CA say yes for me. 2 roles, right? Check in and check out. Okay? These are 2 different roles. They're playing offense and defense. Okay? So the check in CA, they're the boss of today. What I want you to do is as we go through these, I want you to take little notes. I want you to write check in CA, and I want you to write the initial of the person on your team who's in that position right now. And I want you to look at this and say, do I have the right person in this position? And then I want you to say, if not, then is it we need to switch and get somebody else to move? Switch positions on the team because we do have the people? Or is there a gap and we're missing somebody and we need to hire that person because we're missing that skill set on our team? Check in CA. You are the boss of today. You are in charge of today. Okay? You are the face of the practice. You set the pace and the energy for the day. You're the master of the schedule book. You're the master of the flow. Okay? You're the boss of today. You run the show. Everybody else shows up and you say, okay, people, bring it in. Let me tell you what's going to happen today. You run the huddle. You say, this is what's up. We're going to do this, 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 right? You run that show. You are the quarterback for that shift. Everybody say yes if you know that person. They're usually a bigger personality. They're an extrovert. They're a natural promoter. Their responsibility is to set the energy for the practice. And they're talking about what's going on today and what's going on in the future of the practice. They're promoting, they're talking about this. Hey, have you read that article? Have you seen what Dr. Chris is doing this awesome workshop coming up? Have you signed up for that yet? Hey, you gotta read that. The research article you're doing. Did you see that? Look at the new testimonial that just got posted. Did you see our success story? Hey, have you registered for the workshop yet? This is you're throwing a party. Who's that person on the machine? Put their initials down there. They're the natural promoter. They're in charge of promoting your internal marketing. Check out CA, the COCA. I abbreviate these. Chica, Coca, Tika, and Boca. This is the COCA. Check out CA. The checkout CA, they're the boss of tomorrow. He or she is in charge of the future. This is the person who is the guardian of the office policies, the champion of the practice rhythm and the patient staying on their schedules. They're the keeper of agreements, care plans, and payment plans. They're the shaper of tomorrow. They shape the future. They're in charge of scheduling, mapping, getting people to workshop, family checkups. They're also the compliance officer. They usually take no shit, this person, right? This is like the vice principal in junior high school, and you're just like, oh, no, don't send me to shit at Candace's office. Hey, Ron. Inside joke. I like it. That'd be a great opening video. This is the boss of tomorrow. Who's the boss of tomorrow in your office? They take no prisoners. This is the person that owns the fact that we do our best work over time. That the people who never miss or change appointments, they get the best results, don't they, guys? Yes or yes? They get the best results. We know that. The people that don't miss or change appointments, they get the best results. So they recognize, I'm guardrails, I'm going to keep you on this path. Here's the truth, guys. People hire you for your expertise, but they pay you for accountability. They hire you for your expertise, but they pay you for accountability. If you're not holding people accountable to what they said they were going to do to get the results that they need to do to get the results that they want, and you promised that you would keep them, you're out of integrity. Do not take money from people who are paying you for accountability. Everybody say amen. Do not take money from people who are paying you for accountability if you are not holding them accountable. They hire you for your expertise. They pay you for accountability. Who is your checkout team? Back office C, the back office manager. They go under many names. It's like business officer, billings manager, business office manager, okay, back office CA, office manager, accounts and agreements, records and filing, insurance filing, details and organization. This is typically an introverted person. Their neuroses is they love order, structure, systems, process, right? They actually like Excel spreadsheets and stat sheets and making sure that all the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted, right? The visionaries in your company, probably you doctors, drive this person crazy, okay? And you have to have them. And they're the person that you think about and worry about all the time because you know, oh man, if I don't get this done, Nina's going to be pissed. If I do this, if I don't do it this way, Nina's going to be pissed, right? That's the person. Who's the person in your life that keeps you accountable, right? This is system, structure, process, okay? This is the back office here. Put their initials down. The tech CA, the floor CA. This is the person that's just not on the front desk. They're off the front desk, they're on the floor. So they get a lot of hats they wear. Clinical assistant, the liaison between the front of the house, back of the house, meeting between the adjustatorium, the care center, and the front of the house, meaning the check-in area, check-out area, front desk. Conversion expert, new patient concierge. The new patient concierge is the person that works with the doctor on day 1, 2, 3, which is what makes them a conversion expert. Okay? This person is typically a person that's a busybody. They like to move around. They would die at the front desk. If you planted them at that front desk and said you can never leave, they would drive you freaking crazy because they'd be off the front desk and like, who's driving the bus? Right? Like, seriously. Okay? The check-in CA never leaves the front desk, ever. Right? If I saw my check-in front CA go by, I'm like, you better be going to the bathroom. Who's driving the bus right now? It's like what? What? Don't take your hands off the wheel. Never leave the front desk, right? The floor seat couldn't tolerate that. They're like want to be multitasking and moving around and interacting with a bunch of people. They are an empathetic connector. This is the person that just connects with people. You know people where you just naturally, like when you're speaking to them, you're just like, man, I just love them, right? I just love her. She's awesome, right? She's such a good conversationalist. And you watch her conversation, she's like, really? Really? Tell me more. No way. Really? Oh, you're kidding. Go deeper. Tell me more. No, really, there's gotta be more. So bring it out, right? This is the person that's like, they're not conversationalists, they're a great listener. And they make a person feel heard. Say yes if you get that, okay? They're the empathetic connector, okay? They're gonna help you slow down so you can speed up. And you're gonna outsource to that person. They slow down so you can speed up, okay? New patient concierge, they're the new patient advocate. They're attached to the new patient on day 1, 2, 3. They're the empathetic connector. They are your internal sales professional because conversion begins with connection. Conversion begins with connection. Remember, we talked about your attraction is a reflection of your certainty, and your conversion is a reflection of your conviction, and your retention is a reflection of your clarity. Well, your collections will be a reflection of your connection. Underline that. This is your empathetic connector. This is the person that's an internal sales force. What's the modern sales force? Is it a strong-armed, swarmy salesperson that's, come on, you gotta sign today, you gotta make it happen, right? So is that sales? No. The modern salesperson in a sophisticated marketplace, empathetic connector. Somebody who says, I love him. He totally listens to me, he gets me. He totally gets my story. He knows what's brought me here. He knows how it's affecting my life, and he knows what I'm trying to get accomplished. You get me, you get my story. You've connected with me. Now, guess what? I'm available to you. I'm available to listen to your recommendations for care. And when you tell me your recommendations, once you've connected with me, your recommendations sound like solving to me. And I am eager to move forward with you. Because you're going to solve the problem that I brought to you. If you don't connect with me, and you don't make that empathetic connection, and you have not yet earned my trust, I don't distrust you, it's just I don't trust you yet. You'd say yes if you get the difference, right? If I don't feel like you've heard me yet, and you don't know why I'm here and what I'm trying to accomplish, if you've not made that connection, you're going to leapfrog right into your recommendations because you feel like you know everything you need to know to give me my solution because you know you can help me based on your philosophy and your experience, your observations, not on mine. But I haven't connected with you yet. I don't feel like you get me and get my story. You give me recommendations, your recommendations are going to sound like selling. And they're going to feel like selling. To me and to you. You ever been there? When you get that feeling, you got to stop and say, I have not made the empathetic connection. And you just got to double back. And you apologize. You're like, yeah, I'm sorry, Chris. I just want to make sure that you know I heard you. Okay? I'm just eager to help you. So can I just double back for a second here? Here's what I'm hearing from you. You're having these migraine headaches that you've had since you were a kid. They're only getting worse. You've been popping all these pills that you know are strong and dangerous drugs. You know that. You don't want to just take the next pill. You've tried all the pills. You've seen all the specials, right? You're getting to the point now where you're missing 4 days of work, you said. A month. Home, in the dark, puking your brains out, as you put it. Okay? So you're just double back and recapping. You're just trying to get your life back. That's what I'm hearing from you. Because migraines, they don't just hurt, they wreck your life, don't they? I know I work with so many migraine patients, and I've had excellent results with people just like you, and that's all I want. I want to get that for you. So can we start over again about talking about exactly how we can help you get there? That's when a person's like, shit, man, why didn't you say that in the first place? I just didn't think you listened to me. I mean, you were just so eager. You were running down ahead of me. Man, can you slow down to speed up? Can I tell you it'll change your life? Because you're not just like, it's not that you don't care about the person in front of you. You care so much you don't care. You don't care about their trauma history, their allergies, their what. You don't need to know whether it's tingling or burning or numbness. You don't, right? I know you. You care so much you don't give a shit, right? You just want to get to helping them, okay? But that piece is not for you. It's for them. It's for the patient. So you need to partner with somebody who's an empathetic connector, who you can sit down and you can just intentionally and deliberately spend that 5 minutes that makes that empathetic connection. You slow down and make that empathetic connection so that they now trust you and they say, okay, you heard me, and then you hand it off and you let her take that middle 30 minutes and you get back to adjusting and you jump back in and she recaps you and gives you that baton back. Everybody see it? Everybody see it? Okay? New patient concierge. This right here will change your practice, it will change your life, and it will open you up to such huge volume and capacity. New business development, community expert, networking professional, community outreach development. Hey, Cristina, what do you guys call this person in AlignLife? Can you remind me, what's the official name for this person who goes out into the community and networks on their behalf? Community relations rep. Okay. This, in the business world, this is called the new business development expert. Okay? They're in charge of creating new relationships. And as Dr. Joe likes to teach, which is brilliant, is when you get into a new relationship, it's not a one-off thing. When you get into a company, it's not, hey, we're going to come and can I do one talk and nice to meet you? You know, it's not a one-night stand, right? This is a relationship you're starting with this. We want to be your go-to person. We'd like to lay out a curriculum. Let's come in here and let's start a relationship where 1 yes turns into 12, right? New business development expert, professional networker. They establish new relationships for you that you can leverage into outside promotions. Dinner talks, corporate talks, health talks, spinal screenings, corporate wellness, micro wellness fairs. They facilitate your outside marketing. And you fit everybody into this beautiful organizational chart that looks like this. Who can do it? Who can do it? Who can see it? Can you see where this is a blueprint? Even if it's a blueprint for the future vision that you have an infrastructure, you say, okay, I'm going to flesh this thing out over the next 2-3 years. Okay? But I can see it. Right now, I need you playing 3 roles. And I need you playing 2 roles. And I need you playing 4 roles. Okay? Right now. And then what we're going to do as we grow, when we hit this level, we're going to hire another person that's right for that role, and we're going to give you the role that you are naturally designed to be just awesome at, and we're going to hire the person that is awesome at this role based on the demands of this role. Okay, everybody see that? As we grow and go. Now, I know the questions you guys want to ask me, which is, at what level do I add team members, right? So is it at 100 a week I hire mine, and then at 150 I hire the next one, and at 250 I hire the next one, right? You guys have those questions for me? Don't you? Okay? When do I know when it's time to hire another person? Okay? Here's the truth. Every practice is very different. Okay? And there's many variables that play into that equation. Like, how complex is your process? Okay? If you're following our process, if you follow the AlignLife process strictly, then I can give you better insight. How complex is your process? What are your offerings? Okay? What else is going on in the practice? What's your layout like? Right? So how complex is your layout? What's your technique? Right? Some people are Gonstead doctors, right? Like we were in Gonstead practice, so that had a bigger floor plan. We had changing rooms. We had sort of semi-closed, semi-open adjustatorium because people were gowned up. That's a little different than if a front desk can look right at the hot seats, can look right at the table. Say yes, you guys see that there's complexity to this, right? How sophisticated of a business owner are you? Do you have the business chops to lead a bigger team? Are you ready there? Do you need to work on yourself and your leadership first? Okay? What are your personal attributes, the muscles? How fluent are you in your process and your systems? How strong of a trainer are you? Is that really hard for you? Is it natural for you? Does that energize you? Does that suck the life out of you, right? Are you already wildly overwhelmed, right? Is there financial neck bleed that we need to deal with first, right? So there's lots of variables in the equation that I'll help you work through. Dr. Joe, Dr. Cristina, Dr. Joe Carino, we can all bring our experience and our wisdom there, but let me give you just some guidelines, okay? A good guideline is to look at every employee, for every, what I would consider a full-time chiropractic employee, somewhere between 30 and 36 hours, that about true for you guys, that's like the person's like 38, 36, somewhere in there, that's 32 hours, that's a full-timer. For every full-time team member, not associate doctor, but for every full-time team member under the doctor, you should see 17,500 a month in collections, about there. Of course, your overhead percentage is going to be different. Most docs don't know their overhead. They don't know their overhead percentage of profitability. Okay, they don't know what it costs them to deliver an adjustment. Okay, so that's some homework that you've got to do as you're making these decisions. How profitable are you? Right? You should know two numbers: what's your collection visit average and what's your expense visit average, CVA and EVA. Okay? Collection visit average, what do you collect per visit? Expense visit average, what does it cost you to adjust a person? Okay, you need to know these numbers so you know your profitability, so you're making these decisions with an intelligence. Some practices operate at incredibly low overhead, some have a very high overhead, right? You got to bring that into the equation, okay? But that's a good heuristic, a good rule of thumb, right? For about, if you have 3 employees, 3 times 17, 5. And you're about where you need to be right now, okay? As far as volume goes, you could see 400 a week with 1 CA if you really want to go for it, right? But I look at that and I'm like, well, does that bring me freedom and peace of mind? Not my world, though. Okay? I'm happier with 3 CAs at 400 a week. Okay? Because I know I need 2 to deliver excellence and to be able to grow. Because the natural state of principled chiropractic practice is growth. So you should always be able to operate at 20% greater capacity. So you should at any point in time be able to grow 20% like that wouldn't strain your system at all. Ask your team right now, hey, if 20% more of our practice grew 20% for the next 3 weeks in a row, would you even feel it? They should say, no. Then if you want to have some fun, ask them, if our practice doubled next week for the next 3 weeks, twice our volume came in 3 weeks in a row, our new patient volume, reports, and adjusting volume, everything doubled over the next 3 weeks in a row, what would break? The doctor. That's where we would start. Okay? What would break? Everybody in every position should be able to tell you, I'll tell you what would break in my position. This is where we'd break down. This is where the machine would start squealing, right? This is where there'd be rubs and heat and breakdown, okay? Every position should be able to have that input into your office. Okay, guys, I'm going to spend a couple of minutes with just questions. Like, I know that you've got lots of questions. I know that we're in the next section. We're gonna unpack the org chart. We're going to unpack the scorecard. We're going to unpack the competency checklist in our next section. Dr. Joe, come here.
Just a point on the last point is it's funny too. If you have a spike in the practice, and what happens is you'll go up, and if your systems and your flow and your belief systems are here, you'll bring it all the way up, and you'll go up here, and it'll be rub, there'll be friction, there'll be smoke, and then what happens is naturally you'll find that set point again because this is where you're operating. And so until you change your set point and make it higher so you can handle that, you'll do all this work just to end up back here again. So the idea is that when you do the work, that it keeps clicking up, not go up, come back down and work, because that's frustrating to the doctors, to the teams, to everybody inside.
How many people have been there? Where it's like push, we do a big marketing push, and we drive, and it's like, oh man, we're like 220 a week, and like, man, we're good, and we're on our way to our goal. And then you check back and look over your shoulder like 3-4 weeks later, and it's like, why did we used to do 191? Right? Like, how did that happen? We were like, and we're here, and then all of a sudden there's a pin of just a reset, and we came back to a set point. Because our systems and our team and our training, our abilities are 190 a week practice. And we hit that 220, but it was unsustainable. So you always want to be setting up your process, your team, and your training so that you're always 20% growth right in front of you, creating a vacuum that pulls you in that direction. So yes, if you see that. So you got to ask yourselves, CEOs, is my process, my procedures, my schedule, my team, my trainings, are we training at 120% right now? Not 100%. Not 100%. At 120%. Questions? Can I get some feedback from CAs? From teams? I'd love to hear some feedback. What do you think?
Well, as you guys saw on the chart, we actually did a huge one last minute. 46 patients in 3 days. New prospects signed on for appointments. We saw 26 of those patients 3 days prior to coming to Revolution. 4 of them closed. Dr. Tom may have that fear that we're going to come back down, but with Vanessa and I, we are willing to do the work. We are willing
Let's give him a round of applause. Alan, could you say that louder again?
I would go so far as to say, if you hire the right people and you have that spike, then they're going to shine even more. It's not going to break down. They're actually going to be even.
Did you hear what you said? It becomes evident. There are signs that you have the right people on your team. Because if you cast a vision, right, that's aligned with your core values, and that vision just is attractive and compels somebody to want to come and work for you and help you manifest that, and you've hired the right person that gets it, wants it, has the capacity to do it, and you have aligned it with your core values, when you have the right person on your team, and they're on purpose and on mission, guess what? That growth energizes them. And the symptom of you've got the right people on your team is, how kick-ass was that? How kick-ass was that, Dr. Tom? Did you see what we did this week? We could do that every week. You need to start ramping it. You need to start training 6 days a week to get that cardiovascular energy up. We need an associate doctor to come in here, your first associate doctor, so we can start what Francie was talking about, that stack of associates, because you're a great leader. And you need to pass it on like your dad passed it on to you and your brother. Pass that on. You need to raise up the next generation of chiros underneath you. This shouldn't be a blip on the screen when Tom decides, hey, I'm going to pull back a little bit because my docs underneath me are ready to rock, right? That's what she's saying. We're ready to grow and go. Let's bring it in. You don't have to carry it on your back, doc. We want you to hire associate doctors so we can train them up and build and go. Thanks, Alan. You're right. It's a symptom of excellence. It's a symptom of somebody who's on purpose. One more. We have to wrap, right? Yep. Yes.
I just was wondering if you would mind, I know it's taking some time, because I wanted to hear you talk a little bit like you talked about the check-in CA and that they were, the guardian of.
That's exactly what we're going to do in the next section. Yes.
What a doctor's role is, what the
Educate, adjust, train, and market. Those are the 3 bullets. And we're going to unpack all of them. Educate and adjust, train the team, market the message and the practice. That's the doctor's 3 bullets. And if your team knows those roles, and they agree with you that, yes, that's the highest and best use of your team, Dr. Chris. And if we see you doing anything else, we're going to throw things at you.
I just want to give clarity in AlignLife culturally. The movement towards creating a gap with the staff so there's room for the growth, not waiting until the seams start to burst. So we've changed our culture because now if we're congruent with our core values, our mission, our beliefs, there's no contradiction, so there's not a lot of fear of that staff being an asset. And I think in the past there's fear of like, I think I can do another 70 visits before we hire. Like, I want to get rid of that thought and say, we are scaling, we're on purpose, our beliefs, our mission, our purpose, our strategy, corporate's behind us, we're all going in one direction. That create that gap so you have an extra person. If you're under 350 a week, I would be overstaffed till you get to that point. Don't keep doing those up and downs because you're not leveraged with enough people. Because mentally, you'll start to sell your subconscious mind that that's just what we do, we go up and down. And you do that 3 times, then you need 10 years of therapy to fix yourself back. We're the 150 a week clinic. You want to be ready, and then you just keep going. And too many times understaffed, you do that cycle, and you start believing that's who you are, and that's a decade of therapy to fix that.
Right. So, one thing I love about Dr. Joe and Cristina is that they're innovators. And what they're looking for is what's the best next, not what's the next thing, what's the next best version of what we're doing? Like, how can we improve? How can we, there's no sitting back. It is challenging, stress, and test. Let's test it. Let's test it. Is this a better idea? I don't know. Let's test it. Who cares what we think? Let's test it. And we see the improving. So what Dr. Joe just said there, I'll tell you what, the net, if you are building a team that's a little bigger than you're comfortable carrying right now, and you're thinking about profitability, I will bet you $1,000. We can sit down and I would bet you $1,000 that I'll show you that profitability on the net across a 3-year period, you win with the bigger team. For the money that you would save having a smaller team, or not having an associate doctor, or only having one associate doctor, wherever you are, I'll challenge you. I bet I can grow your team and grow your practice. Because the net, if you're operating and you're not operating where you have enough people to serve your volume and 20% more, whenever you have a person go sideways, and I don't even mean that you lose them, maybe they disengage. You know that 64% of the American workplace reports themselves as disengaged in their current position. Wow. 64%. You want to know where the hole in your bucket is? 64% of your people are probably disengaged in work. Okay, that's somebody going sideways. When you
Not
look
in this
at the,
week, Steve, but
what's that?
not in this one.
Not in this week. Especially not after this week. Okay? If you want to look at the expense of carrying the team that you need to grow versus the expense of like trying to pull back and you go through the waxing and waning, the net, I promise you, you'll go, oh my gosh, what am I doing? What was I thinking? I need to build a team that's going to go. All right, guys, I know we got a break. Dr. Big D's going to yank me off. Thank you so much. Great morning, great start.
All right. Thank you, Dr.